What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Azkhalon, and welcome back to another College Football 25 video. In this video, I'm going to give you guys 3 tips about how to get better at passing in College Football 25. Several of you have been wanting me to make this video, and I'm sorry it's taken me a while, but it's here now, and I don't want to waste a whole lot of time. So let's go ahead and get into it. I might even have a bonus tip for you guys. Let's go. All right, so the first thing to improve your passing in College Football 25 is to get used to a particular passing setting. My favorite one to use, so if you go into settings, game options, my favorite passing type to use is placement and accuracy. You have 4 different types though. You have placement and accuracy, classic passing, and then the revamp passing. The revamp passing is the default. It's kind of the new passing system that they have. The other 3, you might have seen in Madden for the past few years or so. But I like placement and accuracy because it enables a timing element for perfect accuracy on bullet passes on top of visual targets to control the pass placement and power. And so that way you can lead receivers, you can put passes, right on the money to get to your receivers depending on what coverages the defense is in that you're seeing. So I tried the revamp passing. It's kind of similar. You get more control of the arc of the pass as well, but I really like placement and accuracy. I've been using that in Madden for years, and so I'm more used to it, and so I like that they have that option in this game. The thing about any video that gives you tips though, you got to practice, you got to put into work if you want to get good at it. So you guys got to kind of figure out which one you like, but I like placement and accuracy. I put the pass lead increase on small because if you make it too large, like I don't use large, you might can work with medium as well. You may overthrow them, you may lead them too far. I like that smaller window of the pass lead increase. All right, so then you have reticle speed with this, and that's how fast, the reticle moves when you're aiming. I like it around 8. I've seen videos where other people put it around 12. Some people put it around 16. It's kind of like, for me, I kind of liken it to mouse sensitivity when you're playing a PC game. I don't like my mouse too sensitive because I'm like all over the place. I'm not that good with mouse and keyboard anyways. And so I feel like a reticle speed 8 kind of, it doesn't move the reticle too fast for my liking. So you got to play around with this. And obviously you want the reticle visible and you want the meter visible so you can see, with these things, if you're in the green, meaning you made a good pass, you placed it perfectly, or if you're in the yellow or the red, which meaning that you did not place it as perfect as you probably would have liked, which leads to more like overthrowing your receivers or leading them too far. All right, so let's take a look at how that works. So I got Georgia Tech here and I'm going against Georgia here. All right, so here we got Singleton running a corner route and we got Rutherford running a post here. And so we're gonna use placement and accuracy to get the ball to one of those two. So I see Singleton cutting right there, and so I'm gonna lead him. I kind of threw it a little behind him there, but I wanted to lead him more towards the middle of the field. So let's do that again. So you gotta make sure for the free form throw in, you hold down the left trigger, bam, there we go. Nice, so that's why I like placement and accuracy. It allows you to control your power and your placement of the ball so you can lead your receivers away from defenders, and so that can help you guys cut down on throwing interceptions, because that's the biggest complaint in the game is I throw too many interceptions. That's the biggest complaint that I've heard. All right, I'm trying to hit Singleton there. I think that was Singleton. I let him a little too far right there towards the sideline. That's why I feel like having the reticle speed lower is more important, because I probably would have definitely let him more out of bounds if I had to speed up higher. But play around with this. You can lead the ones out in the flat as well. Play around with it so you get comfortable, or try out the other passing types. You can find videos online if you want to explore those other passing types that could probably help you out. But I love placement and accuracy. Power and placement, baby. Love it. I feel like revamp passing is too reliant on the ratings of the quarterback, and so that's why I didn't really like revamp passing, although it's very similar to placement and accuracy, but you also, with the free form passing and revamp passing, get more control of the arc of the ball, so you can kind of throw the ball over people more so. Placement and accuracy is good for bullet passes, because like even when you try not to throw a bullet pass at this game, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to throw more bullet passes anyways, and so that's another reason why I like the placement and accuracy. All right, the second tip I want to give you guys is to make sure you adjust your pass protections to give you more time. That's another complaint I hear from people. I didn't have enough time to throw the ball. So if you click the right stick on Xbox, which I'm assuming the same on PlayStation, it brings up all of your pre-play adjusting offense controls. So you got audibles, your hot routes, pass protection, You can zoom in the camera in and out, fake snaps, all that good stuff, okay? So LB is pass protection. So you want to memorize that button as well as probably your hot routes and audibles. So that way you can pull it up without pressing in the right stick. Because if I just hold LB, it brings up my pass protection, okay? So you don't have that extra step of pressing in the right stick first, then hitting LB. So from here, you can just hit LB and there you go. All right, let's talk about these different pass protections. I typically use half slide the most. So I'll kind of explain what these are. So empty, basically with empty, so if I change the blocking to empty, your offensive lineman there, you can see the 5 of them, they're gonna get the closest person in the box to them. And so the box basically here is from your tackle to tackle on your offensive line, and then about a 5 or so yards, on the defensive side of the ball. So basically anybody that's the closest in that box or to that box, that's what your offensive linemen are gonna pick up in empty. I only use this when I go into an empty formation. And what that means is you don't have a running back in the backfield. You got like 5 receivers out there. I would not recommend using empty in any other formation. And as you can see here, that wing back there that is going out into the flats on a route. And so that edge rusher is going to come free in empty protection because none of the offensive linemen are going to pick him up. They're going to pick up these guys that are closer to the box, kind of more so directly in front of them. All right, full slide. So if you full slide to the left, basically that means that everybody on the O-line and then your running back, they're gonna pick up somebody in the gap to their right. So in this situation, this passing situation, that would not be a bad protection to go in there because everybody is accounted for, okay, except for that middle linebacker there, okay, but that can give you some time to get rid of the ball more so than using empty pass protection. I don't use full slide a whole lot, so we full slide to the left, then it shifts everything to the left, okay? So everybody's responsible for somebody to the gap to their left. All right, max protect. So we got here, now those 2 backers, those wing backs are not running routes here. They're gonna help with pass protection. I use max protection pretty much when, I kind of wanna go deeper with the passes, when it's like a 3rd and long type situation. I might make use of max protection. Just keep in mind, if you use max protection, it's gonna take your running back and your tight ends and your wing backs and stuff out of the play, and so you're not going to be able to pass to them. So now I will only have 2 options to pass to in this situation. And then half slide, what that does is if you half slide to the right, okay, it's going to shift everybody to the right. So the right of the center, well, the center included, they're going to be responsible for a gap to the right. And then if you half slide to the left, they're going to be responsible on the left side. So everybody past the center and the center included on the left side is going to take a gap to their left. You can also double team. And so when you click on that, it brings up this blue icon, and then you just use the left stick. And so you can choose anybody that you would like to double team. Like if you got a rusher that's been killing you all game and you want to double team that guy to just keep him out of the backfield, give your quarterback some time, that is a good option as well. Oh, and then base is your standard pass protection there. All right, so I typically use half slides for the most part whenever I'm doing pass protection. I don't really use empty and max protect a whole lot, but I do use those occasionally. So here in this situation here, what I would probably do is I like my blocking chances right here. I feel like everything will be picked up. I might, though, to make sure I create a pocket, I might half slide to the left, because that one guy out there with the fire icon above him, I'm not really too concerned about him in this situation. So I usually use a half slide opposite of the running back. So in this situation, the running back's behind the quarterback, but if he's on the right side, I typically half slide left. And if he's on the left, I typically half slide to the right. And so then we're gonna run the play here. Just to give us some time here. That guy's still lurking, but we got him right there. Oh, he dropped the ball, but the half slides really help with, making sure that you maintain that pocket around your quarterback for as long as possible by controlling what everybody is blocking. I'm going to show you another scenario in just a second where I like using the half slide. All right, so in this situation, we got a different play, different formation. And so I have slid to the left here to make sure that tackle pick up that edge rusher here on the left side. And then you can see what everybody else is blocking. So again, to kind of create that pocket around that quarterback to make sure we have enough time. We're picking up everybody that's immediate threats so we can have enough time to get the ball off. So I like the half slides. I use empty and max protection occasionally, but half slide, I feel that works enough for you guys for whatever you're trying to do. And then hit that placement and accuracy, and boom, before you know it, you're gonna be a better passer in this game, and it's gonna be phenomenal. So make sure that you control your offensive line. Most of the people, like in this Facebook group I'm a part of, that struggle with passing, they don't ever control their offensive line. And pass protection, adjusting that is very important. All right, the third tip I got for you guys, this one might be kind of a lengthy one. You got to make your reads, your pre-snap reads, and even occasionally some post-snap reads. But pre-snap is going to be very important. And so in order to do that, you got to understand coverages in the game. Basically, the simplest way that I can describe coverages is, if you look in the middle of the field, you see the two safeties there. If you see two safeties, you got what I call an even number coverage. So you might have a cover 0, a cover 2, cover 4, and a cover 6. If you see one single high safety and then one of those two safeties are more rolled down and not as deep as the other safety, then you got probably what I call odd number coverages, like cover 1 and cover 3. All right, so in this situation here, we have cover 0. All right, and so what that means is that everybody is going to be man up. So usually when you see cover 0, your safeties are going to be more shallow. Everything's going to kind of look kind of flat almost with the defense. I mean, I know I got one defender that's a little bit deeper there. That's over the top right there. But as you can see here, everything is more in a flat line going across. So more than likely when you see that, that's cover 0. So your safeties are not going to be as deep. They're going to roll down some and kind of be more even with your cornerbacks. In this situation here, you can see that all the defenders that are man up on the receivers, and then of course the rest of the defenders are going to, be rushing the quarterback. So in this situation, more than likely, the pass rush is going to outnumber your offensive line. So if you're on offense, you want to do a few things to kind of exploit the weaknesses of cover 0. Running posts is a good thing that I like to use whenever I see cover 0. As you can see, the middle of the field here can be wide open if we run posts. Screens work really well. As you can see here, the corners are a little bit deeper off of those outside guys, so running some screens to your outside receivers will be pretty good. So you don't have a whole lot of time to read the defense, especially if you're playing against some other people, but if you can pick up on coverages, that will help things out a lot. All right, now we're going to go to another even coverage, which is cover 2. So if you look at this here, you can see how deep the safeties are. That's what I'm talking about. If you see two safeties fairly deep, about 15 yards off the ball, more than likely you got either cover 2 or cover 4 or cover 6. So they're not as flat as they were in cover 0. But in cover 2, basically your safeties are responsible for deep. So one is responsible for the left side, the other one is responsible for the right side. So the thing is, if you see the safeties deep, it'll be harder for you to tell if they're in cover 2, cover 4, or cover 6. But there are a lot of things in whether they run cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, that's going to work out really well for you that you can use if you see those two high safeties. One thing I like to run when I see something like a cover 2, or if I think it's cover 4, cover 6, outs work really well. Corners work pretty well, and occasionally posts will work as well running against this type of defense. But I really like attacking the flats if I can with this. So running like double outs, maybe with both receivers running outs, because basically you want to, in zone coverage, if you see it, you want to try to get defenders to pick a receiver and leave another one open. So I typically, 2 in zone coverage, I have one receiver on each side going in, so like on slants and stuff like that, and the other one's going out somehow, like outs or corners and stuff like that. Speaking of which, outs and corners are your best friend in this game. I would try to run those as much. The zig route, which basically your receiver runs like he's doing a slant, breaks down, opens up, and then runs an out. Those are very effective as well in this game. So I like to use those whenever I see zone coverage like cover 2, cover 4, cover 6. So this is what cover 2 looks like. Let me show you what cover 4 and cover 6 looks like. You're gonna see it's very similar to cover 2 in a lot of ways, and so that's why I was telling you earlier it's usually hard to decipher which one they are in. In this situation, you'll have to make your post snap reads. So if the corners don't bail, they stay in the flats right there, then you probably got cover 2. They can also run man coverage underneath as well. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can see if they're in zone or man coverage as well. So here's cover 4, and see what you're going to see here is your corners and your safeties are responsible for going deep. So in this situation, your corners are going to drop. So after you snap the ball, if you see your corners dropping, then they're probably in cover 4 then, if both corners are dropping, okay? So you're going to have, basically, they divide the field up into 4. So your coverage is basically how they divide the field. So in cover 2, you got the 2 safeties, they got half of a field. In cover 4, you got a quarter of a field with the corners and the safeties, okay? So if you see, again, the corners dropping, then you're probably in cover 4. If they don't drop, they stay in the flats, then you're in like cover 2 or some variation of like cover 6. Let me show you what cover 6 looks like. All right, so in cover 6, you have basically a mix of cover 2 and cover 4. All right, so as you can see here on the left side, you got cover 2 over here, so that safety's got half of the field there, okay? And then your corner has the flats there. But then on the play side there, if you look there, then you have the corner and the safety dropping deep, and then you got that linebacker that's underneath there covering the flats. So that's cover 6. So like I said, it looks a lot similar to cover 4, so it may be hard for you to figure that out. If you can make a quick post snap read, you can see that one corner doesn't drop, one corner does drop, and so that may help you pick up with cover 6. But like I said, if it's cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, you see those 2 high safeties, outs, posts, corners, and various things like that. Anything you can get to the out, outside, out into the flats or deep outs, to try to make those defenders make a decision, or anything that you can get, because you can see here the middle of the field is kind of open too, so posts work really well. Anything that you can do to try to get defenders to choose when they're in zone coverage is very beneficial. And then I want to show you guys what one single high safety looks like. So as you can see, there's a single high safety there, so they're in cover 1 right here. So if you see a single high safety, they're in cover 1 or cover 3. So cover 1, basically you got that safety that's deep, is responsible for anything deep. You can see the corners are manned up, so are the linebackers, and then you have that other safety roll down, or you might have a linebacker there that's responsible for underneath, kind of in the middle of the field there. When in cover 1, if you want to go to the middle of the field here, I would do something like crossing routes, okay, like drags. So you got both sides are running drags, or something like a mesh type play, or you can run something like scissors, where somebody goes on the post, one of the receivers on the same side goes on a corner. Other than that, I will not throw to the middle of the field, because more than likely you will get, the ball picked here. Zig routes are really good for this, because since the corners and some of the linebackers are in man coverage, it's hard for them to stop one of the receivers that's running that zig route. That is a hard route to cover. Outs still work here as well in cover 1. All right, so cover 3, on paper will look like cover 1. You got that single high safety there, okay? All right, but then in this situation, you got the field divided up into thirds here, because your corners are going to drop deep, so they're responsible for a zone, and then you still got that middle safety there that's responsible for the middle of the field, okay? Flats are very easy to get completions in this type of setup. RPOs, I like to run a lot when I see like cover 1 or cover 3. I forgot to mention RPOs earlier. Seams, if you want to run those inside receivers on go routes, run them down the seams, that's going to make that single high safety choose. So that works pretty well in cover 1 and cover 3 as well. So any of those type of routes. So if you pick a play and you see some setups like this where you think they're in cover 1 or cover 3, definitely get those inside receivers, maybe running seams, pick RPOs. I run RPOs a lot. They're pretty good. Or try to get somebody going out to the flat. So like a zig route will work here, or an out or something like that. So let's say you pick a play and you don't know what defense that they're in, because if you play against another opponent, not the computer, you know, you can disguise coverages on this game, and so it may be harder for you to figure out what they're in with your pre-snap reads. All right, let's say you don't know what coverage the defense is in. One thing you can do is press B on Xbox. I don't know what it is on PlayStation. I forget what the right button is. I think circle. All right, and then you can see it highlights the receiver. So if you press B, it changes the receiver. Okay, what I do is I typically send a receiver in motion, and that could give you an idea about what coverage they're in. So I'm gonna send Rutherford here in motion. So once the blue kind of thing is underneath him, I'm gonna hit right on the D-pad, and then he's gonna move. And so as you can see, that guy followed him and the defense shift. That tells you that they're in man coverage. So if the man follows that receiver, they're in some sort of man coverage. So again, if you're not used to reading the formations, you can at least tell if they're man or zone. If that guy did not follow him, then they would be in zone coverage. So let me show you what that looks like using the same play. So you can see there that man didn't follow him, but the defense did shift a little bit because I put him in motion. So that shows you that they're in zone coverage. Occasionally they might chase the receiver even if they're in zone coverage, but putting a man in motion can be at least give you some sort of idea most of the time if they're in man or if they're in zone coverage. Another way you could possibly tell if they're in man coverage is if you see the corners tight. A lot of times that indicates man coverage. Not always, because they can do a zone chuck out of that if they're running zone, but that may be an indication. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is a bonus tip, and that is run the ball. Don't just pass all the time. Use running plays to kind of mix some things up. And so I typically run when I'm either in a tight end set where I got a lot of people on the line on my side, like 6 or 7 people, so I can kind of outnumber the defense, or if I just outnumber them already in the box, of course. And so I picked a pass play here in this situation, but if you look, I outnumbered them in the box. Okay, they got 5 people in the box, I got 6. So here I'm gonna audible, go HB draw here, and your pass protections don't work when running the ball. Some people on like Reddit and stuff will tell you that they do not, so you can't adjust your offensive line here. But since I outnumbered them in the box, I'm gonna try to run. Okay, that hole closed up quickly, but you usually can find a hole if you outnumber them in the box. Also, when running the ball too, wait on your holes to develop. Okay, don't just use sprint to hit the hole quickly. Okay, you gotta wait on it to develop. All right, so that's all I have for you guys in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. I got more College Football 25 videos coming for you guys in the future. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts about the video. I hope that you found that this video helped you. Find this video helpful. Look at that zig route. Got him. Told you that zig route is dangerous. So I hope this video helped you guys to become better at playing this game, to become better passers. So if it did, hit that like button, drop me a comment below, let me know your thoughts. I'm still new to the realm of making tutorial videos, so I would greatly appreciate any feedback that you guys can give me. So if it helped you, please let me know, and I would greatly appreciate that. If you're new around here, check out all my content in addition to College Football 25 tutorials and other playthrough videos. I have other content on my channel that's involving gaming, like unboxing videos. I do let's plays of indie horror games. I have gaming shorts, a variety of gaming content on my channel. So if you like it, definitely hit that subscribe button. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Got some other videos to record, so I will see you guys in another video, whatever video that may be. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. You could have been anywhere around the world playing College Football 25 yourself, but you chose to spend some time with your boy Azkhalon, and I greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Peace.